The sharpest sword in recorded history is the Damascus blade. This blade was so sharp it cut off the Crusades' 200-year war once the Crusaders reached Syria. So of course I had to make a ring out of the same metal and hopefully won't lose a finger. Welcome back, Manly Bands fam, and if this is your first time here, you have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found worthy. On this channel, I share tips to help you make the best decision when buying your unique men's wedding band. Speaking of unique, I have a material with roots dating all the way back to the Crusades. Not those Crusades, That's not what I'm talking about. If you traveled to Damascus, the capital of Syria, there's a statue of a warrior on horseback. The warrior is Saladin, and he was the ruler of the medieval Islamic world. He's the one who fought for Islam during the Crusades, and it was Saladin's armies that used the Damascus blades that cut the Crusaders' thick armor and swords in one swing. The Damascus blades were so sharp they could cut a piece of silk in half just by touching the blade. But the Damascus blades didn't actually come from Damascus. They came from India. Then why isn't it called the Indian blade or Indian steel, Archie? You may be asking yourself. Because the Damascus blade was made from something called Wootz steel. Wootz steel was exported worldwide to Russia, China, and even to Persia. Eventually, swords made with Wootz steel captivated the hearts of the Damascus people in Syria. Damascus used to be the trade center of West Asia. Around 300 BC, the spread of the Wootz steel blade began when merchants started to produce swords directly by hiring artisans. That's when the blade got its name as the Damascus blade. Born and raised in India, but made famous after reaching Damascus, Syria. These artisans would craft the material for the blades by hammering, bending, and stretching, and they would repeat this process several times, and they would get a piece of steel that consists of hundreds of layers. When you look at the pattern of Damascus steel, you'll see a wave pattern, which is pretty awesome. But the process to make Damascus steel was lost for hundreds of years and practically vanished from production in the 19th century. But thanks to archaeologists like my boy Indy over here and metallurgists, the method to create Damascus steel has been recovered. Damascus steel has been gaining a lot of buzz these days as a new metal that can be used in bridal rings. But unlike gold and silver, Damascus is pretty new in the jewelry industry. Sure, it can cut down armies, but can it also cut out the delays in picking your wedding band? One of the great things about using Damascus steel is its history. Lots of people are interested in history and war, and a metal that has its roots in both is pretty badass. As a warrior's metal, us guys know that this ring is gonna hold up because of its strength and durability. One of my favorites is the Intimidator, which is made out of Damascus steel, Gibeon meteorite, red Cerakote, and black dinosaur bone. Another benefit of Damascus steel is that it pairs well with other metals. You can pair it with black zirconium like the Panther, or you can double down with history and get the Valor, which combines Damascus steel and World War II Sherman tank metal. Another advantage of Damascus steel are the unique designs and the fact that they will stay intact for many, many years. A lot of couples like to pick matching rings, and I'd recommend pairing the Rory and the McBain to get a unique look that only Damascus steel can deliver. You won't have to sell a kidney to afford a Damascus steel ring either. Even though these rings look like something only royalty can afford, Damascus steel is one of the more affordable options without sacrificing quality and style. No one wants to buy a ring that's going to lose its luster in a few years, so it's really important to choose a ring that's easy to clean and maintain. Just some slight brushing with some soapy water is enough to keep your Damascus steel ring looking like new. There are a few things to keep in mind when choosing any ring. If you're planning on resizing your ring, Damascus steel is probably not the right option for you. And that makes sense because it's such a strong and durable metal that warriors would use, and so you wouldn't expect it to be able to be resized once it has been forged. Rings made of Damascus steel do not like chlorine or salt water, so if you swim a lot, take it off before you cannonball right in. Chlorine and salt water can cause rust or corrosion, so keep that thing dry as possible. Damascus rings contain some nickel, so if that's an allergy for you, we recommend titanium, black zirconium, or cobalt chrome instead. A couple things to keep in mind about Damascus steel: it feels super lightweight and it looks really cool as each ring has its own unique pattern. Outside of chlorine and salt water, it's corrosion and tarnish resistant, and Damascus is an environmentally friendly option as it's fully recyclable and it can be cut off with regular cutting instruments in an emergency. Plus, each ring is entirely unique as metals are forged together to make it, and while not necessarily scratch proof, it will hide scratches more because of its intricate design. Picking your Damascus steel ring is easy. Visit manlybands.com and at the top of the page, click on Shop by Material and click on Damascus. Here you can find our wide selection of unique designs that speak to your warrior spirit. Now that you know all about Damascus, it's time to make sure you're ready to finish up your fiancé to-do list. Start off by figuring out your ring size at home by watching this video over here. And if you're still curious about other unique metal options for your ring, check out this video I did all about tantalum. Till next time, Archie out.